Did you know birds evolved from massive dinosaurs that walked on two legs and weighed up to 500 pounds? Yes, our feathered friends began as total beasts, and today Earth teems with their weirdest descendants. Nature never runs out of surprises.
Wow.
From the stinky hoatzin that smells like cow manure, to the freaky helmeted hornbill with its giant face shield, get ready to nerd out. Here are 15 strange and rare birds you have probably never seen. Number 16. California condor. Long ago, native tribes like the Chumash scanned the vast skies, whispering legends of thunderbirds, colossal god-like birds that ruled the heavens. These were not ordinary creatures. They were pure white giants, soaring with divine power. But tragedy struck when one flew too close to a raging fire, its feathers charred black forever. Other tribes said these birds devoured the moon itself, igniting eclipses and wild lunar dances across the night sky. These mythic beasts were none other than the California condors, North America's largest flying birds. Their wings stretch 9 feet wide, like a hang glider built for the wild. Picture this massive scavenger, black as midnight with white patches flashing under its wings. Its bald head glows gray on the young ones and blazes orange on breeding adults. It weighs up to 26 pounds, as heavy as a big dog, and munches on carrion like a feathered cleanup crew. What is wilder? Its naked head changes colors like an octopus in disguise. This signals moods or warnings, a trick of nature called convergent evolution. This bird chats visually, turning heads in the bird world. But by the 20th century, these thunderbirds teetered on the edge. Poisons like DDT from farms, hunters' bullets, lead from ammo, and vanishing habitats wiped them out. In 1987, the last wild condor vanished. 22 lonely survivors were rounded up by brave conservationists. Down to just 27 birds total, they became prisoners of hope at places like the San Diego Wild Animal Park and Los Angeles Zoo. Heroes stepped in. Scientists bred them like a phoenix project. By 1991, baby condors returned to the wild in Arizona's Red Rock Canyons, Utah's deserts, California's misty mountains, and even Mexico's Baja cliffs. Today, they are the last of their ancient kind, the sole survivor of the Gymnogyps family. Still critically endangered, these 60-year marathon flyers rank among the longest living birds on Earth. Their numbers are now in the hundreds. For native Californians, they are sacred symbols that weave through myths. These myths remind us that from the brink of extinction, thunderbirds can thunder back. Number 15. Long-wattled umbrellabird. Deep in the misty cloud forests of southwest Colombia and western Ecuador, where humid air clings to the Pacific slopes like a secret, lives a bird straight out of a Gothic fairy tale, the long-wattled umbrellabird. Picture this shadowy performer, no taller than your forearm. Males stretch 40 to 42 centimeters, while females measure a bit smaller at 35 to 37 centimeters. They strut through the treetops with a short tail and a wild fan-like crest of hair, thin feathers sprouting from the head. The males are the stars of the show. Their crest, up to 20 to 30 centimeters long, folds forward over the beak like a spooky black umbrella, ready to snap open for dramatic displays. Dangling from the throat is a massive, feathery wattle that swings like a pendulum. It stretches long for courtship or shrinks tight during flight. At night, the whole bird puffs into a fluffy black ball, with head and feet vanished, looking just like a forgotten mop tossed on a branch. Come dusk in the foggy leks, those misty gathering spots, the males cluster together. They vibrate their crest and waddle like living megaphones. They boom deep calls that echo through the rainforest, puffing up to dazzle solitary females who wander in. She picks her mate not just for flair, but for his fierce aggression and territorial strut. Once paired, she builds a nest high in trees or tree ferns, 4.5 to 5 meters off the ground, to raise the young alone. But this rare showbird from the Cotingidae family faces a tough audience. Classified as vulnerable by the IUCN, only 6,000 to 15,000 adults remain. They are squeezed by deforestation that shreds their wet pre-montane homes and hunters who raid the easy-to-spot leks. Without our help, the umbrella-bird's theatrical world might fade to black. Number 14. Hoatzin. Deep in the steamy swamps, tangled river forests, and salty mangroves of South America's Amazon and Orinoco basins lives a bird like no other, the hoatzin. Picture this funky flyer as the lone survivor of its ancient family. the only living member of the Opisthocomus genus, the Opisthocomidae family, and even its own weird order called Opisthocomiformes. Scientists still argue non-stop about where it fits on the bird family tree. It is that mysterious. Now get this, hoatzin chicks are born with superhero claws on 2 of their wing fingers, letting them climb trees like tiny dinosaurs scrambling for safety. And adults have a gut like a cow's, a fermentation powerhouse that chews up tough leaves better than most birds, just like some plant-munching mammals and monkeys. In Guyana, they are so special, they are the national bird, known locally as the conge pheasant. Number 13. Tufted puffin. Picture this. You are sailing through the chilly waves of the North Pacific Ocean, where the water sparkles like diamonds under the midnight sun. Suddenly, a chunky seabird dives in, like a feathered torpedo. Meet the tufted puffin, the biggest bad boy of the puffin world, also called the crested puffin. With its massive red bill that looks like it was carved from rubies, and those flashy yellow tufts popping out like party feathers, this bird is straight up unforgettable. These puffins rule the cold seas from Alaska all the way down to California. But wait until mating season hits. They transform. Those golden plumes sprout like a rock star's hair, signaling. They dig secret burrows right into cliff edges, turning rugged rocks into cozy love nests. Now, the real magic? Hunting time. This puffin is a total pro diver, plunging headfirst into the waves. Watch in awe as it scoops up to 20 fish in one go, packing its bill like a grocery bag for its hungry chicks back home. And get this. Once the little ones grow up, mom and dad switch it up and munch their catch underwater, like underwater sushi chefs. Born from dinosaur ancestors, these quirky divers remind us nature still has that wild dino spark. But many birds like them are endangered from poaching, so let us cherish their epic vibes before they are gone. Number 12. Helmeted hornbill. Deep in the misty rainforests of the Malay Peninsula, Sumatra, Borneo, Thailand, and Myanmar, a giant bird rules the treetops like a feathered warrior king. Meet the helmeted hornbill, or Rhinoplax vigil, a massive creature from the hornbill family that tips the scales at 3 kilograms. Picture a wild mashup of a rooster and a toucan's love child, complete with a super long yellow beak, a wrinkly throat pouch, and a huge helmet-like casque atop its head that makes up a whopping 11% of its body weight. Unlike other hornbills, this casque is not hollow. It is solid as rock. Males slam their heads together in epic battles, using it like a built-in battering ram to win mates and territory. Legends among the Punanba people whisper that a mighty helmeted hornbill guards the sacred river between life and death, watching over souls with fierce eyes. This bird's life revolves around figs, especially those sneaky strangler figs that wrap around trees like nature's own trap. It breeds just once a year, laying a single precious chick in a tree hollow, where the mom seals herself in to protect it. But tragedy looms. Poachers hunt these giants relentlessly, hacking off their casques to carve into flashy jewelry and ornaments. This has driven the helmeted hornbill to the brink of extinction, a heartbreaking fall for such a rainforest legend. Number 11. Southern cassowary. Deep in the rainforests, meet the deadliest bird on Earth. Picture this. You trek through the steamy rainforests of northeastern Australia, Indonesia, or Papua New Guinea. The air hums with insects, and suddenly you hear a low rumble. Out steps a massive jet-black bird that stands taller than you, with a bony helmet on its head and 2 bright red wattles dangling like bloody pendants. This is the southern cassowary, also called the double-wattled or Australian cassowary. It is the biggest of its kind, a flightless giant related to emus, ostriches, rheas, and even the tiny kiwi, one of just 3 cassowary species left on Earth. This rat-eat beast rules the wild. But here's the chill. If there is one creature you never want to bump into, it is this feathered dinosaur. These territorial titans do not mess around. Provoke one by stepping on its turf or getting too close, and it charges at over 30 miles per hour, faster than a cheetah on a bad day. With dagger-like claws on its feet, it slashes like a ninja, maiming or even killing humans in seconds. Speed plus those razor-sharp talons equals a one-way ticket to disaster. Approach at your own risk. The southern cassowary is not just big, it is a living legend of raw power. Number 10. Vulturine guinea fowl. Imagine wandering the scorching deserts of Kenya or Ethiopia, where the sun beats down like a hammer. Suddenly, you spot a bird that looks straight out of a warrior's legend. With blood-red eyes glaring like fire and a bony helmet crowning its bare head, the Vulturine guinea fowl stares you down, daring you to come closer. Nicknamed the royal guinea fowl, this intimidating creature rules the dry lands with style. Its body shines bright blue, streaked with black and white, dotted like stars on its back feathers. The head explodes in color, vibrant blue, red, and yellow, topped by that horny helmet. A short black beak and a band of tiny brown feathers on the neck complete the fierce look. Males and females look like twins, tough to tell apart even for experts. Do not let the looks fool you. This royal bird is a survivor. It gobbles seeds, hunts rodents and small reptiles, snatches insects, and munches vegetation or fruits when it feels like a snack. A speedy runner, it dashes across the sand but saves its wings for bedtime, flying up to safe roosts at dusk. Watch the males strut with aggressive swagger, chests puffed and ready for battle. The females play it cool, staying submissive and sly. In the wild heart of East Africa, the Vulturine guinea fowl is not just surviving, it is reigning supreme. Number 9. Marabou stork. Imagine wandering the dusty edges of sub-Saharan Africa, where the sun beats down on shrinking pools and buzzing landfills near human towns. There, towering over the chaos, stands the Marabou stork, a massive wading bird from the stork family that earns its grim nickname, the Undertaker bird. From behind, it looks like a cloaked figure straight out of a spooky tale. Huge wings draped like a dark cape, skinny white legs poking out, and sometimes a wild mop of white hair on its head. This giant soars on wings that stretch an average of 8 feet and 6 inches wide. Some say up to 10 feet or more, rivaling the biggest land birds like the Andean condor. Picture it, a bird reaching 5 feet tall, weighing up to 20 pounds, with a body length of 47 to 51 inches from beak to tail. Females are a bit smaller, and their enormous bills measure 10 inches and 6/10 to 14 inches long. Unlike most storks that stretch their necks in flight, the marabou tucks it back like a heron, gliding powerfully over wet marshes or dry plains. Spot one, and you will never forget it. It has a bare, pinkish head and neck, jet black back and wings, snowy white underbelly and legs, plus a floppy pink throat sac. That is what cruminiferous means, carrier of a pouch. Add a neck ruff for flair, and you have got an unmistakable beast. Young ones start browner with tinier bills, taking up to 4 years to fully mature. They are grumpy loners turned party animals, gregarious flockers who breed in noisy colonies. They build treetop nests in the dry season when food is easy pickings from shrunken pools. Mom lays 2 or 3 eggs, but do not get too close. These birds are ill-tempered and snap with rattling bills during courtship, puffing that throat sac to honk and clatter instead of singing sweetly. Now, the marabou is no saint. It is a scavenging powerhouse. This big brute gulps down carrion, garbage, feces, and anything swallowable. Quelea nestlings, pigeons, doves, pelican chicks, even flamingos. Opportunistic? You bet. It thrives where others starve, a true survivor of Africa's harsh edges. Number 8. Ribbon-tailed astrapia. Deep in the misty subalpine forests of Papua New Guinea's western central highlands lives a hidden jewel, the ribbon-tailed astrapia, also called Shaw Mayer's astrapia. This elusive bird of paradise, the most recently discovered of its kind, calls only these rugged peaks home. Picture the male, a velvet black showman whose body measures just 13 inches long. He wears iridescent olive green and bronze feathers that shimmer like treasure. Above his bill sits a fluffy ball plume, but his real magic lies in 2 ribbon-like white tail feathers that stretch more than 3 feet, over 3 times his body length. From head to tail tip, he reaches an impressive 4 feet and 1 inch. He dances through the trees, polygamous and proud, flaunting his extraordinary display to win mates. The female measures 11 inches long. She stays practical in her dull brown and black feathers with an iridescent head and no fancy tails. She blends into the shadows, safe from predators. Those epic male tails, however, snag on branches and slow escapes, adding real danger in the wild. Lucky for us, this spectacular species is listed as least concern by the IUCN and protected under CITES Appendix 2. In overlapping spots, it even mixes with Princess Stephanie's astrapia, creating rare hybrids called Barnes's astrapia. Nature's ultimate tailor, the ribbon-tailed astrapia proves some birds are born to dazzle. Number 7. Shoebill. Picture this. You are trekking through the misty swamps of tropical East Africa, from South Sudan down to Zambia. The air hums with insects, and suddenly a giant shadow looms over the reeds. It is the shoebill, a massive long-legged wading bird also called the whale-headed stork. Why the wild name? Because its bill is a monster. Enormous, shoe-shaped, pinkish with gray splotches, stretching up to 24 centimeters along the top edge. It has the third longest bill of any living bird, rivaling pelicans in girth, with a sharp nail at the tip like a built-in weapon. This beast stands tall, from 110 to 140 centimeters high. Some reach 152 centimeters, taller than most people. From tail to beak, it measures 100 to 140 centimeters long, with wings spanning 230 to 260 centimeters, perfect for soaring lazily over the water. Males tip the scales at about 5.6 kilograms, while females weigh a bit less at 4.9 kilograms. Its legs are dark and super long, from 21.7 to 25.5 centimeters from knee to foot, ending in huge toes up to 18.5 centimeters that let it perch on slippery plants while hunting fish and frogs. Do not let the stork-like body fool you. Genetics show it is kin to pelicans and herons, not storks. Adults rock a sleek blue-gray plumage with darker flight feathers and fancy elongated ones on the chest. Juveniles start browner and grayer. Hatchlings pop out with a cute silvery gray mini-bill that balloons huge by day 23 and fully develops by day 43. Shoebills are chill and mostly silent, gliding with wings flat and neck pulled back, flapping slowly at 150 beats per minute. They rank among the laziest flyers out there, but at the nest, they clatter their bills like castanets, moo like cows, and whine high-pitched to chat with mates or chicks. It is their secret swamp language. In this hidden world of giant swamps, the shoebill rules like a prehistoric king, patient, powerful, and utterly bizarre. Number 6. Magnificent frigatebird. High above the warm blue oceans of the Americas, a dark shape glides across the sky. It is the magnificent frigatebird, a seabird sailors once called the man of war, because it moves like a silent pirate ship in the air. Its body is slim and light, but its wings are huge, stretching more than 2 meters from tip to tip. With these long, narrow wings and a deeply forked tail, the frigatebird can stay in the air for hours, barely moving. It is one of the fastest birds in the world, able to shoot through the sky at speeds of up to 153 kilometers per hour. You can find this bird over tropical and subtropical seas, from northern Mexico down to Peru along the Pacific, and from Florida to southern Brazil along the Atlantic. It also lives around the Galapagos Islands and the Cape Verde Islands, where the warm winds and open water suit it perfectly. In the air, males and females look a bit different. The male is slightly smaller, dark brownish black, and has a bright red throat pouch called a gular sac. During the breeding season, he sits in a tree or bush and slowly inflates this pouch like a balloon. From a distance, it looks like a big red heart resting on his chest. He drums it with his bill and calls out, hoping a female will notice him. The female is larger, with a white breast and belly, and she circles above, choosing a mate. Frigatebirds are expert hunters of the sea, but they almost never land on the water because their feathers are not waterproof. Instead, they skim low over the waves and snatch food from the surface while still flying. They eat fish, especially flying fish, as well as squid, jellyfish, and small crustaceans. What each bird eats can change with the seasons, the location, its age, and whether it is male or female. However, the magnificent frigatebird is also known as a pirate of the sky. It is a kleptoparasite, which means it often steals food from other seabirds. When it spots a bird that has just caught a fish, it swoops down, chases, and pecks at the bird in flight. The frightened bird finally gives up and spits out its meal. Before the food even hits the water, the frigatebird dives and grabs it in midair, then climbs back into the sky with its stolen prize. On quiet islands and cays with mangroves, the breeding season brings a different kind of activity. Here, among the trees and bushes, pairs build shallow nests from twigs and branches. The nest does not look fancy, just a rough platform, but it is enough. The female lays a single white egg, about the size of a small chicken egg. Both parents take turns keeping the egg warm for 50 to 60 days. When the chick finally hatches, it is helpless and depends completely on its parents. After a while, the male leaves, and the female takes on the hard work alone. For almost a year, she brings food to her growing chick, soaring out over the ocean again and again, then returning to the nest. Only when the young bird can fly and hunt on its own does she leave it to begin its own life in the open sky. In this way, generation after generation, the magnificent frigatebird rules the air above the tropical seas, a master glider, a daring thief, and a symbol of life lived on the wind. Number 5. Rufous potoo. Imagine you are deep in the steamy rainforests of northern South America, perhaps Ecuador or Peru. where trees whisper secrets and shadows play tricks on your eyes. Suddenly, you spot what looks like a crumpled dead leaf clinging to a branch, but those are not leaves. That is the Rufous potoo, a tiny master of disguise from the ancient potoo family. This little bird, the one and only in its genus Phylliemulor bracteatus, roams Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, Peru, and Venezuela. Potoos are old souls among birds, cousins to nightjars and frogmouths. Most sport huge yellow eyes and wide, cartoonish mouths that scream nighttime hunters, but the Rufous potoo takes it to another level. Perched in the dim understory just below the rainforest's leafy roof, it vanishes like magic. Its reddish-brown feathers mimic dead leaves, tangled brush, and rough bark so perfectly that predators walk right by without a clue. And when it is time to start a family, no ground nests for this clever one. It lays its eggs right into the safety of tree branches, hidden away from hungry eyes. Next time you are watching the wild, remember, not everything that blends in is what it seems. The Rufous potoo proves nature's best magicians wear feathers. Number 4. Tawny frogmouth. Imagine you're wandering through the shadowy eucalyptus trees of Australia at night. Suddenly, you spot what looks like a fluffy owl perched on a branch, staring right at you with its huge eyes. But wait, it is no owl. It is the tawny frogmouth, a big-headed, stocky bird that is a master of disguise. This bird blends perfectly with the tree bark across Australia's mainland and Tasmania. This sneaky night hunter belongs to the frogmouth family, cousins to the potoo birds. It has a massive, wide mouth built for chomping prey. The tawny frogmouth is mostly a meat eater who loves controlling pests like pesky vermin. For bigger snacks like lizards or rats, it smashes them up first to make swallowing easier. And get this, sometimes it just sits there with its mouth wide open, waiting like a trap. Insects buzz in, thinking it is safe, and snap, the mouth clamps shut on a juicy meal. The tawny frogmouth is Australia's ultimate camouflage king, hiding in plain sight among the trees. Number 3. Quetzal. Deep in the misty highlands of Central America, where ancient forests whisper secrets to the clouds, lives a bird that seems more like a living jewel than anything from this world. Picture this. The quetzal, a strikingly colorful member of the trogon family, glides through humid treetops with feathers that shimmer like emeralds in the sun. 5 species from the Pheromacris genus call the Neotropics home, thriving exclusively in these lush realms. But one outlier stands apart, the eared quetzal, Euptilatus neoxenus, a Mesoamerican wanderer that sticks mostly to Guatemala, dips into Mexico, and even sneaks into the southern edges of the United States. Follow its journey northwest through Mexico's rugged states of Sonora, Chihuahua, Sinaloa, Durango, Nayarit, Zacatecas, Jalisco, and Michoacan. This bold bird occasionally ventures north, nesting in the pine forests of southeastern Arizona and New Mexico. From June through October, during mating season, their calls echo like a lover's serenade, drawing pairs together in the treetops. These are not tiny creatures. Quetzals stretch over 32 centimeters long, bigger than their trogon cousins, with tails that trail like royal banners. In Guatemala, the resplendent quetzal reigns supreme as the national bird, honored by the Maya for its vibrant hues and sacred spirit. An iridescent green head and wings, a spiky crest like a crown, a blood-red breast, and those flamboyant twin tail plumes that flutter like a carnival dancer's skirt. This icon is not weird, but breathtakingly beautiful. Its stunning looks make it the avian superstar, a feathered dream that turns every forest glimpse into pure magic. Number 2. Scarlet iiwi. Imagine soaring through the misty forests of Hawaii, where a flash of fiery red catches your eye against the lush green leaves. That is the iiwi, the scarlet honeycreeper, a true icon of the islands, like a living flame darting from flower to flower. This little bird, with its mostly scarlet body, jet black wings and tail, sports a long, curved bill, the color of salmon. That beak is its secret weapon, perfectly shaped to sip sweet nectar from tropical blooms. The bold red and black contrast makes the iiwi one of Hawaii's easiest birds to spot, a vibrant jewel in the wilderness. Back in the day, young iiwi fooled even the sharpest eyes, with their golden feathers dotted in spots and creamy ivory bills. Early explorers thought they were a whole different species. But then came the magic of molting. Watching those juveniles transform into stunning scarlet adults cleared up the mystery. Long ago, Hawaiian chiefs prized the iiwi's feathers above all. Nobles wove them into dazzling ahu'ula cloaks and mahiole helmets, turning the birds into symbols of power. That is why its old scientific name, Vestiaria coccinea, meant scarlet clothing in Latin. These days, it is Drapanus, nodding to its sickle-shaped beak and family ties to the rare mammal birds. Even in Hawaiian tales and songs, the iiwi shines. Take the classic Sweet Lay Mamo. It sings, "The iiwi bird too is a friend," capturing its enduring spirit in island lore. Number 1. Burrowing owl. Imagine a tiny owl named Ollie, no taller than your hand and about 7 to 10 inches high. He lives not in a cozy tree, but deep in a secret underground burrow on the wide sunny grasslands of North and South America. Ollie's home, called the Shoko Burrow by some, is not one he dug himself. He smartly moved into an old tunnel left behind by a badger, fox, ground squirrel, or prairie dog. It is perfect for his family in these open spots like deserts, farms, or dry fields with short grass. Unlike his night owl cousins who sleep all day, Ollie pops out in the daylight and dodges the hottest midday sun. He stays mostly on the move at dawn and dusk, those magical crepuscular hours, when his sharp eyes pierce the twilight and his ears catch the tiniest rustle. Picture him with long legs like a mini roadrunner, built for sprinting across the prairie after bugs, mice, or lizards. When danger looms, he does not soar high like other owls. Instead, he dashes on those speedy legs, then bursts into a quick, low flight just above the ground to escape. Ollie's world is all about these open lands, with no thick forests for him. His legs help him chase prey fast and launch into the air when needed. Life underground by day and hunting at twilight is the thrilling adventure of the burrowing owl.